Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to day 7 of World Unity Week. My name is Ben Bowler of Unity Earth, and it's been an extraordinary week of amazing content and conversations around the world. So we are really excited about this program that we have today. Today, the whole day is dedicated to the frequency of love. And we get our frequencies from David Gershon and the Peace on Earth by 2030 game and linked to the first Earth Run back in 1986. So it's wonderful to be honoring that great work. And today is dedicated to the frequency of love. And what a perfect way to begin day 7, but by talking about promoting human security through love. And we have a really wonderful and extraordinary program. I'm genuinely excited about this today. This is a campaign called Human Security for All, and it was initiated by the World Academy of Arts and Sciences, which is a historical institution that Albert Einstein was involved in setting up. And together with the Human Security Unit of the United Nations, the World Academy of Arts and Sciences has embarked on this campaign for human security for all. And it's so interesting and exciting and timely and needed because it's about redefining the very meaning of human security away from a narrow, militaristic, nationalistic definition of human security and broadening it out into really be inclusive of not just the well-being of individual humans, families, communities, and nations, but also all of life, and recognizing human part of the ecosystem of the planet. So I think it's to have the United Nations having funded such a progressive and enlightened initiative that really is there to broaden and expand and to redefine what the idea of human security is. I think it's just brilliant. It's a very skillful way of making a big difference at a tremendous scale. So we have an amazing panel lined up for you today. Let me introduce and go ahead and introduce some of the panelists. We have welcoming back Audrey Kitagawa. We had extraordinary film premiere yesterday of the movie that with David Courtin, which For the Love of Life is so beautiful. And we really want to encourage everybody not just to watch it, but to share it and to host parties around discussing the content. Audrey is the president and founder of the International Academy for Multicultural Cooperation, the president of the Light of Awareness International Spiritual Family, the chair of the Anti-Racism Initiative, and co-chair of the Gender Equality Working Group of the G20 Interfaith Forum, and the former advisor to the Office of the Special Representative of the Secretary General for Children and Armed Conflict at the United Nations. We also have Dr. Ash Puchari, who's co-founder of Protect Our Planet movement. Super excited to meet Dr. Ash and to learn more about this work here. Dr. Ash Puchari has a PhD in decision behavior and master's degree in international management, having worked with McKinsey and Company before pursuing a career in the social development arena. Dr. Puchari's experience in the fields of public health and sustainable development emerged from a range of initiatives, including those of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the United Nations, CDC program interventions in the US, as well as the POP movement and the World Sustainable Development Forum. Respectively, he is technical advisor to the World Health Organization on self-care global guidelines. Welcome, Dr. Ash. We also have with us Dora Damjanovic, who's public relations manager for the Human Security for All campaign. Dora Damjanovic studied global affairs at King's College London, specializing in India, Africa, and South America. She's a junior fellow of the World Academy of Art and Science and one of the founders of Youth Leadership Network, a global NGO that aims to connect young leaders, activists, and field experts to organizations and projects to create more youth participation in the 21st century. How wonderful. She also has her sustainable clothing brand, Doro Design, through which she promotes sustainable development and raises awareness about climate change. She has also worked as a project coordinator assistant in the United Nations and European Parliament. So welcome, Dora. And finally, we have Mr. Jonathan Granoff, who's an international lawyer, serves as special representative to the United Nations for the Permanent Secretariat of the World Summit of Nobel Peace Laureates. He's the president of the Global Institute, chair of the Task Force on Nuclear Non-Proliferation of the International Law School of the American Bar Association, and ambassador for peace and security of the Parliament of World's Religions. So I think you'll agree with me, we have an extraordinarily august and incredibly experienced and talented and special lineup of speakers here today. So on behalf of World Unity Week and Unity Earth and all of our partners, we welcome you to this special event and to this, this rich conversation we'll be having about promoting human security through love. Welcome, Audrey. Again, welcome back. And Ash and Dora, it's great to have you with us.
The world we know is facing unprecedented challenges which cannot be solved if humanity remains divided. We know deep down that our security lies in the security of others, our families, our neighbors, our communities, our world. People of faith have always known these truths. A peaceful and secure world is not about borders, but about people, about ensuring human security. Faith communities, interfaith dialogue, and cooperation can help usher in a new era of global solidarity, one that fosters understanding and trust between people of different faiths and cultures, one focused on human security for all. We must rise above our national and individual differences behind a vision of a safe, peaceful, and healthy planet. Human security is about building safe and inclusive communities, a just world. It is about living free from want, free from fear and indignity. Join us on a mission to bring human security to all.
Thank you. Those are beautiful openings, setting the context. We're now going to hear from Jonathan Granoff, who's here with us in the room, but has also prepared these remarks for today's special discussion. So let's hear from him.
Sorry, guys.
My dear friends, it's really an honor to speak to you about something that's really important. Love and human security. Well, love is the greatest treasure that is given to us as human beings. In this infinite universe, there may be other planets where there's life, but we know there's love, the most precious treasure that we have in this orb. My political mentor, Senator Alan Cranston, used to say, nuclear weapons are unworthy of civilization. And then he would expound on the idea that we could have the arrogance of ending love, because human beings alone can love selflessly, generously, and with the compassion of God's love. But love, in a way, is very much like water. It will provide life and sustenance to anything that it's poured upon. People are more than willing to give up their life and limb and property over their love of family, their love of nations, their love of religions, their love of things that we have created. In fact, presently with the nuclear arsenals in the world, it seems that we're willing to give up the very the very existence of humanity over love of country. Human security has a different approach than merely loving things that we've created. It's focused on loving human beings, loving people, using things. So many of our problems arise from loving things and using people. Let's take human security as a political concept. It essentially says that the function of the state is to create an enabling environment for human beings to have freedom from fear, freedom from want, and freedom from indignity. Allows us to blossom as human beings. When we love things, ideologies we create, weapons we create, rites, rituals, and practices that we cling to that separate us from others rather than enhance our ability to be open and loving. When we love things that we've created and use human beings, then we have terrible problems. Human security shifts the focus of the duties that we have as human beings to love people and use things. Now, why is this so important? It is so important because the human being is the unique creature that can become aware of its divine nature and manifest it. The human being can manifest compassion, patience, love, peacefulness, justice, knowingly. It has the capacity to know these qualities and to know the source, which is the giver of life itself, as the wise have told us since time immemorial. That giver of life is indescribable, but is often described as love, as compassion. And human beings have that capacity. They also have the capacity, when they love things that they've created, that we've created, to be the most dangerous creatures, to commit horrible, horrible acts based on love of things that we have created. So human security is a transformative, powerful concept for the affairs of nations. It says that in this moment of time, the admonition to see the human family as one, an ancient admonition found in the Upanishads, is now becoming increasingly a practical necessity in order to protect the oceans, the health of which we depend upon, the climate that's affecting the health of the oceans, and so many other biological phenomena, pandemics. The financial system of the world is integrated. So this spiritual admonition of the wise to see the human family as one and to love the human family as your own family has now become a practical necessity. This is unique. This is our moment in history in which our love has to transcend the things that we've created, the differences amongst ourselves, and see the basic common humanity, the precious miracle of the human being, the creature capable of knowingly moving from selfishness, pride, vanity, to selflessness, love, and generosity. That's the task that we all have, and there's nothing more fulfilling than moving toward the source of love, because in doing so, the security of the soul, the security that knowing that death is not to be feared, the security of being open and kind to all other beings, is the blessing that comes from that love. May we all find that treasure, find that comfort, find that security. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone, from New York City. And I would like to express my deepest appreciation to Ben Bowler, Grant Schreiber, and the Human Security for All campaign for this invitation to participate in an important discussion about promoting human security through love, and really consider how love is the underlying power that can unify and accelerate efforts to ensure the safety, security, and well-being of people all around the world. For many people, the basics of human security, physical safety, economic stability, basic needs, and dignity have really been quite elusive. And we recognize that there are many dimensions to feeling secure or safe and to be free from fear, want, and loss of one's dignity, whether through it's the lack of work, a place to live, a way to have proper health care, and to have one's basic needs met. And Human Security for All has rightly identified the human security approach as a wide-ranging framework that responds to the many calls that we hear every day to care for one another, to help each other, and to be present in the world as a compassionate presence for ourselves and those around us. The many agencies, groups, churches, and communities that exist within societies speak to the importance to help each other, and they strive to meet the needs of the homeless, the hungry, the poor, and the marginalized. And it requires the ongoing commitment of governments, guiding leading institutions such as the United Nations, civil society, and concerned citizens of the world, and all of their heroic humanitarian efforts. I am heartened that there are public conversations such as this one taking place, where we discuss what I call true human security through love, because everyone needs to feel loved and feel capable to love. We all know about the failure of newborns to thrive if they lack the human touch and the nurturing care of loving people around them. Even though we become adults, at every stage of life, the nature of human beings is to fulfill the need to feel love and to love others. Agape is a type of love that is defined as the highest form of love, charity, and the love of God for man and of man for God, and acts of love offered to people living in fear and insecurity have really profound effects, because love is empathetic and kind, and it strengthens communities, reduces conflicts, and promotes peaceful coexistence. It provides emotional support and a sense of being valued. It creates trust, and trust generates cooperation, collaboration, and collective action. Love is peaceful. Love is kind and nonviolent. And love empowers, restores dignity, and inspires hope, allowing people to fulfill their potential and to find true meaning and purpose in life. Many years ago, I had the privilege to meet my beautiful spiritual mother, an enlightened person who not only embodied love, but was a powerful generative source of love itself that really transformed my life. And she captured my heart and told me that God is love and that God was within me, the closest of all. How wonderful to know this truth, that love is itself already within all of us. Therefore, we are already given the capacity not only to love, but are, in the deepest sense, the embodiment of love itself. In agape, this love is ultimately selfless and grows in ever-increasing magnitude when we share it in service to others. And in this manner, we find the greater purpose and meaning in our lives, and we can experience the essence of our connectivity to each other in the great web of life. No one acts in isolation, and what we do to others impacts us and vice versa. It is therefore incumbent upon all of us to make our lives and the lives of others truly secure by sharing and giving love in all of the multitudinous ways of selfless service that lends a helping hand. And I'd like to conclude with an excerpt from a beautiful book, A Book of God's Love by Sufi Master Bawa Mahayadeen. If each of you will open your heart, your actions, your wisdom, and your conduct, and look within, you will see that every face is your face, every nerve is your nerve, Every drop of blood is your blood. All hunger is your hunger. All poverty is your poverty. All lives are your life. You will experience this in your nerves, in your body, and what you see. When that state develops inside of you, that is God's love. If that love develops, you will not hurt any other living thing. You will not cause pain. You will not reject any life, and you will not torture any life. Because if you hurt anyone, it will hurt you. This is the way to true human security, to love in the highest sense, where you no longer perceive yourself apart from the other, but one with the other and all others. For that is the reality of our existence. We are all one. Thank you.
For many people, today's world is insecure, full of threats on many fronts. Violent conflicts, natural disasters, persistent poverty, epidemics and economic downturns endanger peace, stability, and sustainable development. These threats are no longer isolated events limited to national borders. Their destruction travels the globe with great consequences on all societies. We cannot face these insecurities alone. We need to rise above our national and individual differences as one human family, with human security for all. Human security is a people-centered view of what it means to be safe and secure. Faced with unprecedented challenges, the world requires urgent responses and innovative solutions. Next-generation and human-centered technology carry the potential to reshape our future. Join us on a mission to bring human security for all through technology. Let us rise together to reach our potential and leave no one behind.
Greetings. I wish to convey my deepest gratitude to VAS and Unity Earth for the great honor and privilege of joining you here today on this very important occasion and to be part of this very important and momentous week. I'd like to start by sharing a quote by Mehboob ul Haq, the renowned Pakistani economist and international development specialist. He said, and I quote, "Human security is not a concern with weapons. It is a concern with human dignity. In the last analysis, it means a child who did not die, a disease that did not spread, an ethnic tension that did not explode, a dissent who was not silenced, a human spirit that was not crushed." Quotes closed. The roots of the diverse aspects of human security can be traced back to the seminal work of Abraham Maslow, who in 1943 classified human needs and aspirations into physiological needs, safety, love and belonging, social esteem, and self-actualization. Humanity's efforts to satisfy all these needs and our hope that they will be fulfilled in the future is fundamental to the ideal of human security. And this is evident from what former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan said in his speech in 2005. And what he said was it is freedom from want and fear. And herein lies the significant departure from national security, which is about fear and, in quotes, the worst case scenarios, while human security is motivated by love and the view of what the world can be. Recent crises such as the coronavirus pandemic, climate-induced natural disasters, violence, and war on several continents have devastated our lives and economies, undermining human security. Many of you may be surprised to learn that as we speak, we have 32 countries in the world in conflict and war. We also know that the United States spends its greatest portion of its energy budget on defense, making the US military its most energy intensive sector. And even as the global pandemic has been called off, we have one COVID-19 death every 4 minutes. The reality is also that as we speak, we have many other pandemics at play. Pandemics of oppression, knees on the neck, human rights, hunger, sanitation, safety, among many others. These pandemics threaten every dimension of human security. I would very humbly propose that by embracing the principle of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, which is a Sanskrit phrase, which means the world is one family and is founded on the spirit of love and oneness, we can indeed overcome the biggest challenges that confront us today. By coming together and acting in unity while spreading the message of love, care, we can together achieve what we set out to achieve. That is to overcome the magnitude of threats at play affecting global economics, food, health, environment, personal, community, and political events. This love and unity is how we are able to celebrate and even go as far as taking for granted the many freedoms and liberties that we are so blessed to enjoy today. How do we get here? Our forefathers joined hands and hearts and did so with the strength of their conviction. We have the good fortune of learning from, being inspired by, and standing on the shoulders of great giants. We can indeed pave the way to a secure future for all by looking back and by learning from past victories and challenges as well as their lessons. Great movements and moments that have changed the course of history have been successful because they united us around love, shared voices, and values. This is exactly what the Human Security for All campaign is about. This is also what the POP family of the POP movement, where POP stands for Protect Our Planet, practices in its every action and initiative. We can only move forward as one POP family, as one global family. And that family needs to be founded on the principles of love, respect, and dignity for all. But what we must also remember is that we have a small and rapidly shrinking window of opportunity. We must seize the moment and act. Our acts must be embracing of true love and respect for all forms of life that we are so blessed to share this beautiful planet with. So join us and do so with your heart, with love. A warm welcome to the Human Security for All campaign, WAS, Unity Earth, and the POP movement's POP family. Thank you.
What a beautiful, inspiring speeches. Congratulations to everyone. It's really an honor to be here today as we gather at this remarkable event, World Unity Week. And I would really like to express my heartfelt gratitude for the opportunity to share with you this profound connection between human security and love, and what exactly that means. Because in today's world that is often filled with division and conflict, uncertainty, the whole concept of human security offers us a powerful lens through which we can strive for a more harmonious and inclusive society. It encompasses the idea that every individual on this planet, regardless of their background or circumstances, deserve to live a life free from fear, poverty, injustice, and violence. And it emphasizes the importance of protecting and promoting a well-being of every human being. But how does love come into play? Love, in its purest form, is the driving force behind human security. It's the foundation upon which we can build a world where compassion and understanding and respect thrive. Love is not merely a sentimental emotion, but it's more transformative power that is capable of inspiring actions that can change lives and shape societies. Love encourages us to see beyond our differences and to embrace our shared humanity. It calls us to recognize that we are all interconnected and that the well-being of one person is intimately tied to the well-being of others. Love enables us to transcend barriers of race, religion, nationality, and ideology, and instead fosters unity, empathy, and collaborations, which are pillars of human security. When we approach human security with love, we reject the notion that security is solely about military might or the protection of national interests. We understand that true security extends beyond physical safety and encompasses the fulfillment of basic needs, such as access to food, clean water, healthcare, education, economic opportunities. Love compels us to advocate for social justice, equality, and the eradication of poverty, knowing that these are essential ingredients for genuine security. Love also empowers us to address the underlying causes of conflict and violence. By nurturing understanding, forgiveness, and reconciliation, we can break the cycles of hatred and revenge, paving the way for sustainable peace. Love reminds us that even in the face of adversity, we have the capacity to respond with compassion and empathy, bringing healing and hope to individuals and communities affected by conflicts and trauma. All of us are ambassadors of human security, and we have the responsibility to embody love in our words, in our action. We must strive to create environments where people feel valued, heard, and included. So let us work together to build bridges of understanding, to empower the marginalized, and to promote dialogue and cooperation at all levels of society. In conclusion, human security and love are intrinsically linked. When we embrace love as the guiding principle behind human security, we set in motion a ripple effect that can transform lives, communities, and the world at large. So let us today, and from this day onwards, commit ourselves to this noble goal, knowing that through our collective efforts, we can really create a future where every individual can thrive in an environment of peace, justice, and love. Thank you.
In a rapidly changing world, we all aspire to feel safe and secure. Yet for countless people around the world, this is not a reality. Conflict, poverty, climate change, discrimination, inequality, and injustice threaten all dimensions of human security. Indeed, our sense of insecurity seems to be increasing. Today's threats cannot be solved by traditional education. We need education that focuses on preparing youth with the values and knowledge needed to understand the rapidly changing world they live in and the actions they can take both for themselves and for society to overcome threats and enhance well-being. But there is hope. Education that focuses on human security is a powerful tool that can transform communities and build a brighter future for generations to come. It empowers individuals, strengthens communities, and promotes peace and stability. It enhances freedom from fear, want, and indignity. At its core, education for human security is about creating a better future for all and leaving no one behind.
Oh my goodness, this is amazing. What incredible presentations we've had from Audrey and Ash and Dora and Jonathan. And it's just so striking. We could talk about this for hours and hours because there's so much to unpack here. And we'd love to dive in deeply into it. We only have a few minutes just to hear final messages from each of you. One thing that struck me from your presentations, I think all of them, was the profound connection to spiritual wisdom, which is driving this new or this increased, this expanded definition of human security. If we have the, going back to the Bhagavad Gita and Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and of course Audrey also brought in the great Sufi saint Baba Muhayyiddin. And many other of the traditions. So we know, Jonathan, this is a big part of the spiritual inspiration. We have all of the wisdom traditions in order to have a culture of peace, a culture of thriving, of love, of harmony, and yet, we're not there. So my closing question for you in the context of this brilliant campaign, which I think is just so strategically clever to be working in that space of bridging the gap between the institutions where they are and this a world of a more ideal spirit. How can we, Jonathan, get from where we are to where we want to be? What is the process and the pathway of moving beyond, the nation state saber rattling definition of human security to one that really is so simple, has been so beautifully expressed by each four of you, and that we all feel in our hearts and that we all believe is possible? How can we close the gap on where we are and where we want to be and where we need to be?
There's, okay. We can't. What we can do is we can serve with gratitude, the fullness of our skills and the fullness of our heart, and give the responsibility of what we do, the rewards and losses, to the creator of the world, to God. This is the information that Krishna gives to Arjuna of how one does service in the world and obtains liberation of the soul. Presently, I've been involved in the debates on creating the declaration on the Sustainable Development Goals for the summit at the United Nations. It will take place in September. I have a seat in the General Assembly as a permanent observer. And when the term human security has come up, countries have objected to it. Authoritarian countries, Russia, for example, has objected to it because they see it as a gateway for breaching sovereignty and using responsibility to protect, to use force in an overreaching way. Now, human security has nothing to do with the responsibility to protect. The debate is somewhat distorted in the international arena. So one of the things that we have to do is bring the clarity of what we've heard today, and particularly in the excellent presentations by the World Academy of Arts and Sciences, which Gary Jacobs explains human security. We have to do our best to educate the public on this new necessary concept. It's necessary because so many of the threats that face every individual on the planet can no longer be met at a national security level. The climate doesn't recognize borders. 60% of our oxygen comes from the phytoplankton, which depends on the health of the oceans. The oceans don't recognize borders. Pandemics, viruses don't recognize borders. These major threats that we all face, or nuclear exchange, a small portion of the arsenal, would end human civilization. These threats are a threat to the entire human community, and they can only be addressed with a new definition of security, human security. What we can do is we can develop the characters based on the love, the description that we've heard today, this beautiful description from all of my colleagues here. I mean, they're just fantastically comprehensive. Moreover, anybody could see the love shining in your faces and your heart, the fact that you're walking the talk, just like Ash's dad walked the talk and alerted us to the climate And Dora's shining, her face is the shining of her heart, and Audrey's transmission should be shared universally. It was comprehensive, ranging from the physical to the political to the legal, and all the way up to the fullness of why we are born as human beings. So we have to develop those qualities inside, and each of us, in whatever skills we have, make them available to serve that love. So whatever skills, and develop skills, and then leave the responsibility to the one that gives us life. We're not supposed to be donkeys. We just live here for a while. We need to be servants for the highest good. That's the best thing we can do.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. Brilliant answer. It's a brilliant answer. And we're here of course, in June in World Unity Week, and we're on the road to September and the International Day of Peace. We're on this collective journey of these 99 days of peace through unity. And there are many missions that are coming together and finding each other at this time. And I'd love to, I just want to acknowledge Grant Schreiber as well, who's the campaign director for the Human Security for All campaign, who initiated this amazing panel today. But we'd love to work on a 90-day mission with the campaign, Dora, with your team and with everybody about what can we do in the next 3 months to really help support and spread this out. As Jonathan said, the messages of Audrey and Ash and Dora and Jonathan need to be spread far and wide. We've got the capacity to do that together. Miss Audrey, I'd love to come to you, anything for your closing remarks, but in particular, what could we do over the next 3 months? So by the time we get to the International Day of Peace, we've helped bring the Human Security for All campaign further down in its development and progress, because it's so important and it needs all of us to support it.
Thank you, Ben. What we can do over the next 3 months is what we should be doing every day that we live, every breath that we take, and every interaction that we have. And that is to work on ourselves, that we ourselves may be the expression of that radiant generative force of life and love that has already been given to us. And given to us by the divine creator of all there is, the source of all there is, who is love itself. So if everyone in the world practice daily loving thoughts, loving speech, loving action, can you imagine the transformation that would take place all around the world in 3 months? If we did this every day, imagine the transformation that would take place. So it is incumbent upon us and the exercise of our personal responsibility to be able to do this in every moment that we live. And I often say that the mastery of the self is the most difficult mastery there is. And yet it is incumbent upon us as global citizens to see that where we are is the holy ground, and we must practice there. In the meantime, the simultaneity of action requires that we also engage in the public awareness campaign to raise our voices in advocacy for love, for civility, for respect, and to be able to address the needs of people all around the world. Where are the hungry? Where are the poverty-stricken? Where are the naked and the unfed? They are right here with us, and they are one with us. And so therefore, we must be able to do what we can here and now. Where we are is the holy ground, and we must find God here, now, in our very midst. All we have to do is look around. Thank you so much.
Oh. Thank you, Audrey. Thank you for your exemplar leadership and your shining example to all of us of a holy life. And thank you also to the International Academy of Multicultural Cooperation for your support as a co-sponsor of World Unity Week, the 99 days, and Peace Week itself. We're very, very grateful. Well, there is a lot we can do, and this message of self-mastery that Audrey is sharing with us, Ash, is obviously one that is embedded also in all of the traditions in clear ways. ways. So how about for you? And I personally want to learn more about the POP movement and want to make sure we can find ways to engage and synergize and support each other. Tell us about you. What do you feel, Ash, is kind of the next step here for the campaign and for the synergistic works that are coming together, are coordinated around this campaign of human security for all?
Thank you very much, Ben. I just want to say we've had so many words of wisdom and profound values that have been shared. The only thing that I truly believe, and I'd have to add to, the beautiful messages we've received already, especially in respect to what we need to do next. So, I think I'd underscore that action is absolutely key. I also want to say that it's very important that we do it now. And that we do it every single day. I do believe, our time is literally here now. And then finally, I'm going to say it's really important that we do this as a collective. And so the power of coming together, the power of that collective, and a global, unified, universal message and action and mindfulness is absolutely key. And whatever we do, I think needs to be driven with by the spirit of love, mindfulness, sharing, compassion, and oneness. And, we are here on this planet temporarily. We are here because nature, we are actually one with nature. There's no way that we have a future without understanding, absorbing, and aligning ourselves in entirety with the fact that really the only way is to see ourselves as part of nature. And any imbalance we know ultimately is a huge existential threat to us, because the planet, as Jonathan said, and weather and pandemics do not know boundaries. And so I think it's very, very important that we understand that, our indigenous wisdom taught us we would seek permission before plucking an apple off a tree. And I think we need to understand that there's a lot to learn from that indigenous wisdom. There were strong values of oneness with each other and the planet in all that we did, in the way that we lived. And there's much to learn from our forefathers as we progress ahead, keeping that spirit of love and unity absolutely up front and center. And all I'm going to say is that, with the POP movement, we are so blessed to be here with you. We would love to be able to do lots more together, and we truly feel honored to be able to join hands. But honestly believe that joining hearts is very central to our ability as a global family to achieve what we set out to achieve. And I think it's very important that we understand the essence of time in doing this as well. So I hope today and every single day of our lives, we can practice that love, mindfulness, sharing, compassion in everything we do. And the global POP family does indeed join hearts, minds, and souls with every one of you. So, and we consider ourselves one family. So thank you for the great blessing and the great honor. And I look forward to everything that lies ahead. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Ash. We're looking forward to working with you, and thank you for those beautiful sage comments. And it's so true that we have all of the wisdom of these collective indigenous traditions and the wisdom traditions themselves, that we have a bountiful resources of treasury of human grace that is here for us to draw upon as we meet these challenges collectively. And today, Dora, the last word will be yours. It's fascinating in your bio, the incredible work you're doing with your business, a platform, but also working with the youth leaders to bring them into it. Jonathan, there's no time for raised hands. Sorry about that. And Dora, we would love to hear from you just to close in terms of your own perspective on, the energy and the enthusiasm and the great messages that have been shared here today. And how do we now go forward to bring the human security for all campaign to its fullness over the coming months and the year ahead?
Thank you. You mentioned a youth leadership network, and I think that is the key message of the campaign. I would say that this campaign is not time limited. This is not a couple of months long campaign. This is not 1 year long campaign. This is something that is going to plant the seed for our future generations to actually continue that legacy and continue with human security. It's all about building momentum. And that is what we are doing right now. We cannot expect to accomplish any of those goals that we mentioned today in 1 year, in 10 years. But we can work on them every day, personally and collectively. And step by step, we can change people's mindset and we can plant a seed of knowledge and wisdom to the young people, to the future generations that are going to make an even bigger change. So it's an ongoing process that is going to be happening for a long time. And we are here to build momentum. And we are here to give a push to future generation who are going to give an even bigger push to a generation coming ahead. So yeah, I think that's the key message, that this is something that is ongoing and lasts for a lifetime.
Magnificent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that inspiring message, Dora. And I want to, thank again Grant Schreiber, and congratulations to the whole team, to Gary Jacobs and to everybody involved from the World Academy of Arts and Sciences and also from the UN Human Security component that have pulled this together and have this ambitious, skillful, strategic, well-coordinated, structured campaign that is going to make an enormous difference. Thank you so much. Thank you, Audrey, for being with us today. And thank you, Jonathan, for your extraordinary message, so beautifully delivered. And thank you, Ash, and thank you, Dora. We have one small video to play as we close today, but much love and aloha to everybody as we go forward in this work. And thank you for you've uplifted us all. So bless the campaign, and we'll close with the video. Thank you, everyone.
In a world full of complexities, human security and the environment are inextricably linked. Environmental changes threaten our food supply, impact our health and well-being, limit our livelihoods, and harm our communities. But it's not too late for us to take action. The security of every human being on Earth depends on ensuring a safe and stable environment for all. From urban planning to sustainable agriculture, we can create resilient communities that address the interconnected challenges stemming from environmental changes. Innovation and collaboration are key to solving environmental threats and ensuring human security. Across the globe, people are working together to restore ecosystems, reduce emissions, and conserve resources. We all have a role to play in protecting our planet and fostering a more sustainable future. From reducing waste to supporting renewable energy, every action counts. Today, let's pledge to take action and work together for a secure and thriving future. Visit humansecurity.world to learn more and share your story by using #HumanSecurityForAll.